ASMR as sound art. Experiences from the classroom. ASMR is short for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. In this brief presentation, I will point to 4 things that have come together to create what we know as ASMR today. They are theater, film, online technologies, and sound art. The authors of ASMR movies call themselves ASMR artists, and they distribute their work online to internet-native audiences. The ASMR effect can be triggered by various kinds of audiovisual stimuli. It refers to a relaxing, shivering, and tingling bodily sensation. The term is also applied to a multifaceted genre of movies that intend to produce such sensations. Large numbers of people are regular followers of ASMR artists. The movies they produce show theatricalized simulations of medical examinations, ear cleaning, haircuts, massages, eating food, drinking beverages, applying makeup, or fabulating whispery stories or cheekily advising on all and any matter. Many ASMR movies can be understood as a form of personalized theater that is transgressive, non-standard, often erotic, but not sexual. One of the early groupings called themselves the Whispering Community, whose members sought to create an illusion of one-on-one action. This form of ASMR relies on the effective power of the whispered voice's impression to create an intimate sonic space shared by the listener and the whisperer. Followers of ASMR artists regularly use these movies to relax or fall asleep, increase mindfulness, or relieve anxiety. The role of sounds in ASMR movies is to make actions concrete in a way that visuals on their own would be impotent to achieve. ASMR artists have a preoccupation with the materializing sound indices described by Michel Chion. That is, they repeatedly present actions such as tapping, scraping, crinkling various material objects. Extending their whispery delivery of a monologue, they use a range of paralingual, non-semantic mouth sounds such as lip smacking, kissing, breathing, and so forth. Indeed, sometimes these paralingual sounds entirely replace speech. Audiovisual composites are held together by an effect that Chion calls syncrasies, embedded in each individual through lifelong exposure to environments, objects, and action experienced as part of living in a multimodal reality. Cross-modal correspondences are at the basis of what has been named a weak synesthesia. The strong emotions evoked by ASMR movies stem from the way in which actions are materialized through hyperreal or saturated sonic and visual elements in these movies. Characteristically, they display an intense focus on foreground sonic events, resulting from the amplification of small sounds and attention to sonic spatial effects. This promotes a high degree of immersivity, if not realism, of the audio track. Rob Gallagher discusses ASMR in a context of how technology impacts culture. He claims that the operative concept is noise in 2 ways, both the acoustic sense and the information theory sense. I have taught classes with an ASMR component for 4 semesters in Korea and now in Hong Kong. For the students, learning about ASMR is a conduit to creative use of microphones, headphones, loudspeakers, cameras, which they explore in various setups and combinations. They're also introduced to audiovisual timeline-based editing software. From my observations of ASMR movies, I note that they are constituted by 3 main components, evidenced as noise in the 2 senses, attention to detail, and repetitious yet organic action. When we here see ASMR movies, we are invited to a momentary escape from the dominant environment, into a small and intimate space that makes us aware of ourselves as a physical body. By spending time in this secluded space, we become better equipped to reassess the meaningfulness inhabited in the myriad phenomena in physical reality. I think that a full understanding of ASMR as a cultural phenomenon might only be possible if we accept that consumerism functions as a dominant unscripted religion. In this context, ASMR movies fill the role of offering a non-logical but not illogical hedonism. ASMR is the shrine for a new kind of secular pantheism. In 1919, Jean Sibelius said, "Music begins where the possibilities of language end." Around the same time, Luigi Russolo and Tristan Tzara and the futurists that made for them a noise orchestra. This was the start of an exploration of a widening of the instruments of the orchestra. What ASMR resembles most of all is the form of performed sound art that was pioneered by John Cage, most clearly in Child of Tree from 1975, but at a conceptual level present already in the I Ching process he developed to make Williams Mix in 1952 and other generative works. We may claim that ASMR comes out of an aesthetics of noise, a willful suspension of certainty that prevails at both the structural and material levels of the cultural product. Then this aesthetics has its roots in what Cage named indeterminacy. I argue that the ASMR effect is achieved in movies characterized by a loosely scripted performance within a setting of personalized theater that amplifies materializing sound indices. The COVID-19 restrictions place limitations on the content of the course. We are adapting to a disrupted, low-tech pedagogical format. Since online is the native format for ASMR, teaching ASMR is much less negatively affected than most other sound-related course components. To conclude this presentation, here's a short documentation to give a glimpse of the making of one ASMR project in a classroom situation from Korea last year. So Jai, what's the plan so far?
Lie on the keyboard and feel myself.
Lying on keyboards, and you're a composition student, so how do you relate to the instruments here then?
Instrument? Well, I don't really like playing piano.
You can sleep on these keyboards that we have lying here on the floor. Okay.
I'll relax when the blanket is on. It's okay. iPhone's rolling.
Yeah. This has been a presentation called ASMR, a Sound Art, Experiences from the Classroom by me, Permagnus Lindborg. I thank you very much for your attention and look forward to seeing you at the conference.